Great, any new undertakings you're chipping away at now that your show is over? Goodness, the wheels have arrival of certain photos of Puff, and it gave the idea that a man was pulling down his jeans to cure me consistently. They could have switched the prescription and I wouldn't be here, and on the news they would have said it was a result of a guide. A terrible spot, right? And here's it. And when he discussed the medications, the psychological medications, I've had an episode of that. Okay, the miserable story of Jamie Foxx battling for his life in the beyond couple of weeks has been causing swells across the web, and presently netizens have felt a connection among Foxx and Wendy Williams, and it isn't anything other than Diddy himself. It makes sense that in the event that you're ostensibly depicting yourself as straight, you shouldn't flaunt photographs of yourself with a man pulling down your jeans, right? I'll be quick to let you know that Diddy hasn't quit lying for some time, and Wendy Williams' hot interpretation of the rapper was essentially one illustration of that. The previous syndicated program moderator messed everything up on Diddy by examining the crossing point of hip jump and homophobia in the business, and the reaction against the rapper is quickly raising, so you need to understand what Wendy uncovered and how Jamie Foxx's hospitalization is connected to it. Prepare to have your mouths agape. Genuine story. There are reports that our #1 television have Wendy Williams has an image of two shirtless men drifting around the web. The hypothesis that one of these shaggy fellows could be the scandalous Diddy has sent tons swaying considerably further. In the event that you have been definitely following Wendy, you ought to realize that she uncovered Diddy's gay undertakings and afterward had her terminated at the same time. When he accepts that Jamie Foxx's demolishing ailment is down to him spilling the tea at Diddy's sex parties in the past, how about we recall that Wendy Williams is known for being straightforward and supporting her claims with proof before we feign exacerbation and pronounce this bogus news, and who ought to chip in as succulent subtleties to back up this unverified talk. Another performer who has been dishing the soil on superstars like Diddy and Alicia Keys' Panther Right, however, has been vocally censuring such way of behaving where others could stay quiet, and arrangement himself seems, by all accounts, to be her ally. Apparently Wendy's substance misuse is no confidential, and it seems Diddy was behind it, particularly after she demanded uncovering his gay exercises. It appears Foxx is facing a similar outcome, and it's sad. Back in 2021 the commended have focused on her battles with liquor, and you realize I've had a battle with cocaine in my past. I never went to a spot to seek the treatment. I don't have the foggiest idea how, aside from God was perched on my shoulder and I just halted. A source near Williams uncovered that the host was attempting to get better, yet nobody was able to discuss what drove her medications. Wendy has been sufficiently valiant to make herself the substance of fixation. The source says it's a sickness in an undeniable and consistent battle. It's been very hard to put herself out there and be powerless, as this is a particularly confidential battle, yet it's too significant the subject to overlook. She is known for keeping it genuine and wanted to save it genuine for her fans. Wendy Williams realized that the everyday male story was breaking and she needed to be straightforward with the watchers. She maintained that it should be her story to tell, yet prior to making sense of why Wendy thinks Diddy is behind the burdens tearing separated Jamie Foxx, we should initially find out where she and the terrible young men organizer took an unfortunate development. So here's the fast origin story. In 1998, while she was a radio character for Hot 97, Wendy made serious charges about Diddy's sexuality. Subsequent to finding out about the bits of gossip purportedly began by the moderator, he did something amazing in the background and supposedly had her terminated from the station. Once dream got to him, he probably made some things happen to get her terminated and consequently started a fight that endured 20 years. Things purportedly raised to the point that Diddy sent a young lady bunch on his name to face Wendy. She guaranteed quite a long time ago there was a music tycoon who sent his all young lady gathering to beat my butt before the radio broadcast. She uncovered I wrapped my shift, gathered together my earphones to see everybody arranged on the window peering down at the walkway. She reviewed when she got first floor she saw this young lady bunch leap out of a wanderer taxi to beat her up, assuming the talk factory is right. That young lady bunch was complete, once endorsed to Terrible Kid Records, and the music magnate was Diddy, as revealed by Wrap Up when he owned up to clutching disdain for Diddy since she felt he attempted to destroy her profession. The damnation he put me through, she wrote in her book The Wendy Williams Experience. I won't ever Disregard yet I don't detest him, and in 2017 Diddy came by Williams' show to freely settle their 2-decade fight. The meeting was something she recently said she trusted would occur, however she didn't think it was conceivable. I realize I pissed many individuals off including you, she told Diddy as their meeting began, yet this is a round trip. Second, he appeared to acknowledge the peace offering and opened up to Wendy around a couple of individual things, including his adoration for his then sweetheart Cassie. I'm enamored now, he spouted. The moderator, who was one stage New York stun jacket during her radio days, has wound up eye to eye with various well-being and individual battles. She was dependent on cocaine for 10 years toward the start of her vocation, and all the more as of late has struggled Graves' sickness, hyperthyroidism and other actual diseases. What a huge number of her fans don't have the foggiest idea anyway is that Diddy uncovered the opening that she is trapped in now, very much like he is finished to Jamie Foxx. Wendy's marriage has additionally been a hotly debated issue, no play on words planned for quite a long time. She has endured claims that her now ex Kevin Tracker was carrying on with a twofold life and had been untrustworthy to her after the television maker invited a child with another lady in Walk 2019 when he at last reassessed their 21-year marriage. The previous couple finished their separation in January 2020. At a certain point, when he had to drop 3 episodes of her partnered show during the 7-day stretch of Valentine's Day in February 2018 subsequent to encountering influenza-like side effects, she noted on Instagram that she had not required a day off ever in north of 25 years and returned his commitment the next Monday. The Structure previous radio personality likewise went home for the weeks from the Wendy Williams show from late February to mid-Walk 2018 because of issues with Graves' sickness and hyperthyroidism. Wendy's PCP recommended an essential 3 weeks of rest to get her levels and prescription in a state of harmony. A rep for the show told newsrooms it even gets juicer to commend her Be Here public mission with the Tracker establishment. Wendy reflected upon her very long-term fight with cocaine fixation during a July 2018 meeting. I was a working junkie, she told Diversion. This evening they wouldn't fire me since I was making evaluations. It's a supernatural occurrence. I had the option to stop the discussion, have purportedly begun utilizing it in the wake of being discharged from her radio, all because of Diddy. When Wendy matter-of-factly left New York's unbelievable Hot 97 radio broadcast in 1998, it was under a haze of show. The shock muscle head had made a few foes of the very culture she was covering. Here and there she had become piece of the music herself. Tupac Shakur's The Reason You Turn on Me roughly alludes to Wendy by name. Both Wendy and Fox are in good company. Crazy Diddy as cliché quality arrangement. A previous close partner of the tycoon has solidified on a few events that anything that Wendy and Fox said about Diddy is valid. Arrangement guarantees that he saw the terrible Kid Chief requesting R&B vocalist Music Soul Child to eliminate his turban at a Philadelphia clubhouse. Stunning. There's additional Felt's arrangement would later excuse Puma Freedom's guarantee that he was paid to stay quiet, commending her for standing up. He turned the point back to the crisis within reach directly. Meanwhile has been laying her ex-boss for certain serious charges about what she asserts were devious moves on his part. Now is the ideal time to investigate these cases, as he put it. Child. Young lady, pay attention to me. Ain't no one taken care of. Enormous gene. Ain't no one ran huge gene off. It's not happening. Never. Awful and never won't ever have from no one or no man. Darling, you're off base about that, so I've heard. You say that 2 times. Someone expressed that to me 2 times, so I'm telling you, child. Young lady, I don't realize you buy and buy. Do you see yet? I regard what you do, however you are off base when you tell, except if it's another protector. It ain't huge. Jill, you may be talking about another person, you're not talking about large G. Bargain attempted to shield himself for Wright and Wendy's allegations, yet his reactions essentially reinforced their situations. As per him, it was his encounters working for Diddy that drove him to look for shelter and religion. Panther had likewise ensnared Mary J. Blige, so the previous Guardian brought her up before the Diddy undertaking. Puma asserted Blige had been concealing her longing from people for a really long time and moved her to a melodic battle. She tested Mary J. Blige, the sovereign of hip bounce, sold to a dance-off on Instagram, saying that Blige had been concealing her sexuality for a really long time. Puma continued in spite of being met with Opposition further supporting Wendy and Jamie Foxx's declarations about Diddy Jane's stunning charges about the music tycoon in a new meeting just add to the pile of proof against him. Quality cases that he took his previous boss to a fascinating bookshop in mid-2000 while they were both on a functioning excursion.